Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nursyahidah Suimi. I am a management student. I'm from University Science Malaysia, and today I'm going to be talking about the concept of the soul and the afterlife by Al-Kindi. Now let's see table of content. Number 1, we will be talking about biography of Al-Kindi. Number 2, the introduction of the human soul. Number 3, the deeper dimension of afterlife. And number 4, the main topic of our discussion today is the concept of soul and afterlife by Al-Kindi. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, and let's start. First and foremost, let me give the introduction of philosophy. Philosophy is the Greek word that means the love of wisdom. The philosophers are the lovers of wisdom. They seek truth and strive to understand the reality of the world. Hence, all the truth seeker is considered as the philosopher. While Islamic philosophy is the branch of Islamic study and is a long-lasting attempt to create harmony between philosophy, which is reason, and the religious teaching of Islam, which is faith. Islamic philosophy, as the name implies, refers to philosophical activity within the Islamic milieu. The main sources of classical or early Islamic philosophy are the religion of Islam itself, especially ideas derived and interpreted from the Quran. In one of Hadith Sahih Muslim said, I seek refuge in you from knowledge that does not benefit, a heart that does not fear, a deed that does not ascend, and desire which is never satisfied, and invocation that is not heard. Now let's jump into the biography of Al-Kindi, the father of Islamic philosophy. Al-Kindi, or his real name is Abu Yusuf ibn Ishaq Al-Kindi, was living in 800 to 870th century, and he was the first Arab philosopher, scientist, mathematician, physician, and musician. He is known as the father of Islamic philosophy. Let's talk about his life of Al-Kindi. Al-Kindi was born in 800th century in Kufa and died around 870th century, which is 70 years old of his life is full of contribution to the philosophy. Next, Al-Kindi fathers was the government in Kufa. Al-Kindi education took place first in Kufa, then in Basra, and finally in Baghdad. That's why we can see the journey of the education and the knowledge that Al-Kindi get from. Next, knowledge of his learning soon spread, and the Caliph Al-Ma'mun appointed the House of Wisdom, which was recently established center for the translation of Greek philosophical and scientific texts. House of Wisdom is known as the Grand Library of Baghdad. It's belonging to the Abbasiyah Caliphate in the Islamic Golden Year, and it's full of translation activity across Europe and Middle East. As you can see on the map, you can know where it is located of Baghdad and Kufa. Baghdad now is called as Modern Republic of Iraq, and Kufa is the city of Iraq. Let's move on into the philosophy life of Al-Kindi. He is still held to be greatest philosopher of Arab descent. Indeed, he was often referred to simply as the Arab philosophy. Al-Kindi was a master of many different areas of thought. He was an expert in music, as you can see in the image, philosophy, astronomy, medicine, geography, and mathematics. Next, during his lifetime, he was held to be the greatest Islamic philosopher. Of the table content, number 2 is the human soul. The human soul. Human soul can be described as a substance dependent from human body in its essence. It is issue of the beginning of human soul. Ruh can mean wind, breath, or that which one blows. In the Quran, in addition to the grammatical, reflexive use of nafsu or self. Number 4, the concept of soul and afterlife by Al-Kindi. Concept of soul by Al-Kindi. Al-Kindi believed that the soul is a simple, immaterial substance which is related to the material world only because of its faculties which operate through the physical body. Al-Kindi is saying that our soul can be directed towards the pursuit of desire of the pursuit of intellect The former will tie it to the body, so that when the body dies, it will also die, but the latter will free it from the body and allow it to survive in the light of the Creator, in the realm of pure intelligence. Concept of Afterlife by Al-Kindi. Our residence in this phenomenal world is transitory. It is in the journey toward the eternal one. Al-Kindi said, the most miserable man is he who prefers for himself the material above the spiritual. For the material, apart from its ephemeral nature, obstruct our passage to the spiritual world. Finally, we get to the end. To sum up, that is not pure annihilation, but rather both the living and dead are aware. But there is a difference that can't be compared. That is merely movement from one world to the another. That is a journey through a wormhole to a separate dimension existence. In this life, the soul and the body are together, except during sleep, when the soul may leave the body and come back in the morning, or Allah may take the soul at that time. Before we end, I'm collect a few of amazing and powerful words of wisdom by Al-Kindi, which is, we should not be ashamed to acknowledge truth from whatever source it comes to us, even it is brought to us by former generation and foreign peoples. For him who seeks the truth, there is nothing higher value than truth itself. Next, we ought not to be embraced of appreciation the true end of obtaining it, wherever it comes from, even if it comes from the race, distance, and nation different from us. Nothing should be dearer to the seeker of truth than the truth itself, and there is no deterioration of the truth, nor belittling either one who speaks it or convey it. That's all from me. I am Nursyahidah binti Ahmad Suimi, and thank you for the Dr. Muhammad Azizan for listening to my presentation. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.